So I grew up in Jamaica, a small town in Montego Bay. And growing up, I remember not having my mom in the home all the time, all year round. I remember her having to leave to travel to the United States so that she could find a job where she's going to be able to provide for us. I remember being taken care of by my grandma. She did a great job. She did a great job. My uncles who would check in occasionally, who would provide for us occasionally. At that time, my dad was already here in the United States. And I remember meeting my dad when I came here at the age of 17. And the transition from Jamaica to the United States was a very good one. I was excited to migrate, but then I realized when I came to this country that I was able to access a worldwide of opportunities. And I started to reflect on those in the Caribbean, like others in the Caribbean. I reflect back on growing up and these opportunities not being available, and not mainly because of time passing, but mainly because of access. And so as I grew older, I became an entrepreneur, and I realized that this was a huge problem. This was a huge problem. And I had to make a change. I had to contribute to this change. And a part of my purpose have evolved into me contributing to changing the trajectory of how our families in the Caribbean was able to make money to provide for their families without having to break up a family bond, without having to migrate and leave such a beautiful, beautiful country to be, away from their family to make ends meet. So, what inspired me to become an entrepreneur was when I had my first child and became a mother. I literally did not like the way that I had to work a 9 to 5 and miss out on milestones. I'm sure a lot of moms in the room can relate to what I am saying, right? I, first of all, my daughter did not like daycare. And leaving her at the daycare, I remember her crying and she would not eat at all. It went on for weeks, and then my sister decided she was going to come and live with us so that she can actually help out with my daughter while I was at work. And I started looking at life differently, and I realized that there has to be more to life than getting up every day, going to work. And so I decided that I was going to acquire a new skill. So I started a business. Entrepreneurial skills, it actually runs into my family. My dad is an entrepreneur, been an entrepreneur for many years, and I've never heard of my dad working for anyone. And so I believe I adapt some of that from him. But I decided to start my business with jewelry. I started selling jewelry to my coworkers, to my friends. I started doing house parties. But I then quickly grew into a boutique. I had a whole boutique store in the Bronx. That's a whole other story. And, I realized that it was great. It was great being able to be my own boss, but it was also daunting because I had to literally, take time to build a brand. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of work. Look, it took a lot of time from my daughter at the time. And I realized that that's not the life that I really wanted. And then I discovered online. I discovered firstly drop shipping and I was blown by it. I realized that I was able to sell products online, not just to persons who can access my boutique, but to persons globally. And so I fell in love with it. I wasn't a techie person at the time, but I decided that I wanted to learn. And I must have built about 5 different websites on Shopify. The first one was I built a brand for my daughter. At the time, it was called Magitats. So we built a little kitty brand, and I built one for my son a year or so after. And then from there, like things just started to take off. I started to learn. I started to really master the skill. It wasn't easy, but I do remember saying to myself, when I master this thing, I want to teach it to as many women as possible because I know there must be other women like myself who could actually benefit from this. And so at that point, I had a dream to retire myself, to be a stay at home mom at the time. And I remember fast forward during 2020, we had a pandemic, right? And January of that year, I was actually let go from my job. Yup, girl was fired from her job. And so at that point, I knew I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with my 9 to 5. I wasn't happy being in the position I was in as a front desk worker. I wasn't being appreciated. I didn't feel like I wasn't even being compensated enough. But I enjoyed the job. I did what I had to do because at the time I wanted to earn a degree from the college, and that was literally my way out because degree not cheap, right? And so with that said, during 2020 COVID, being fired, being at home, it was a stressful time, but I decided at that point that that was actually God freeing me to walk in my purpose. Whatever that was at the moment, I still haven't figured it out. I just knew I wanted to be a stay at home mom. And so during January, I decided that I wanted to go full on into my online boutique. And so I took my daughter's business. My daughter at the time was an author, and we had gone full blown into marketing on social media. I opened up my own boutique, and within under 15 days, literally, I was blown away by the results. We were able to generate over $10,000, literally over $11,000 online in under 15 days. And I started to look at things differently. I said, man, I've been sitting on this for many years. And I also realized that I really could do this. And what I also realized was, what if I could teach more women how to do this? Men, if you're in the room, don't get offended. They were my audience at the time, right? That's who I really wanted to help at that moment in time. And so I remember packaging my own knowledge into a course. Now, remember, I have been doing this for a while. I've helped others years before then to launch their business, to get results. I just did not have the the courage to do it full time, to do it for myself, to do it on my own. And so being able to prove to myself that this actually is, a gift from God. The knowledge that I had, I was able to package that knowledge with the steps that I took into a digital course. And at that time, the course is called Package Your Knowledge, a still growing course that I've helped many since then. And during that time, I believe it was in about March, we had a huge launch from our course, and our course made over $11,000 again in under 15 days, like literally. And not just that, but the most exciting part of it was we had over 20 students that were launching at the same time. I was walking them through the process, I was holding them accountable. But what was, very, very discouraging was that we had about 5 students that launched the very same day from different Caribbean. We have persons from the US, from UK, from Canada. But then we had entrepreneurs from Jamaica, from Trinidad, from Barbados, and other Caribbean countries. And we realized that there was a payment gateway issue at the time. Barbados was unable to access PayPal, which was at the time the only way that they were able to access payment online through Shopify without having to have a US bank account. Trinidad went after and they had the same issue. And so of course, I felt so bad. I felt terrible. I didn't know what to do at the time because these persons have invested their time, their investment, their money into our program, and they were unable to get the success that everyone else have been able to get. And so I did realize at that point that my true purpose was literally to help entrepreneurs in the Caribbean, going back to, my mom leaving, my dad leaving, the broken families being caused by the lack of resources, the lack of access to success, to digital success to the Caribbean. And so that is what I realized at the time. I had to find a solution. And so I did. I did. I pushed through. We've tried so many different ways that we found on Google, that we found on YouTube, and they still did not work seamlessly. So I created what we called the dropship program at the time for the Caribbean, dropship Caribbean program at that time. And with that, I was at the time, still is, a Shopify partner. And so we created these stores for the entrepreneurs in the Caribbean. We gave them access to the payment gateway, and we gave them access to the stores so that they can have their own brand. It was built out from a Avon model. So it was more like a Avon Mary Kay model where they would give you your own access to your site. But the way we did it was we didn't want persons to be able to be held hostage to using our, URL name. We want them to have their own unique brand. And so we created it that way for them to have their own unique brand name and their own website. And we launched probably about close to 100 stores at the time. However, that became another huge problem for me. Reason being, we didn't have a lot of staff at the time. It was just me. I had to start hiring persons. I had to build websites over and over because we were the one actually building the website. I connected with a app developer at the time. We were using their app. They made it work somehow that their app was gonna work for us for what we wanted for the program. Decided that we're gonna make a huge investment, and that's when our first app was born, the drop ship this app on Shopify. That was a huge success for us because what happened is that we now transitioned from us having to do all the work to our new merchants who were joining our program to be able to handle their own websites, handle their own products, choose their own products, add it, import it into their store, and the app automatically will fulfill orders for them, update inventory. It was pretty huge. It was pretty huge. And so from there, we have been able to birth successfully over 100 entrepreneurs globally from Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Antigua, Jamaica, and many more islands that are coming in successfully. We even went as far as Namibia. I have never heard of it until our students from there have connected with us, and they're able to generate income, from those countries in US dollars. So that was the biggest success, I believe, for me, in knowing that I was able to provide an opportunity for entrepreneurs globally. And I do believe that this is indeed was my purpose in evolution, right? And so with that said, we have continued to grow since then. We have rebranded since then to Monlatic, which have served so much more purpose to our vision of helping entrepreneurs globally to tap into digital success. We've expanded to other opportunities, not just drop shipping, not just digital courses, but now we offer opportunities in network marketing. We've introduced the internationals to marketing successfully online, not just tapping into their local access, but shifting their mindset from thinking locally to now thinking as a global brand. So I'm very excited and super proud of what we have been able to achieve. Just knowing that we have created opportunities for women and men in the Caribbean to not have to leave their family, to not have to leave their beautiful island, but to be able to generate income, whether it's a side hustle or it's a full-time entrepreneurship journey. They've been able to do that successfully and do so globally. And so now we have decided that it's time to move forward. God have decided that I need to go on this mission, this tour to the Digital Success Conference globally. And we have done this in Jamaica, our very first event in Jamaica, and have birthed so many entrepreneurs from that event that happened on May 27th in University of West Indies in Jamaica. And now we're bringing it back to Jamaica. It was that good that the people were like, listen, we need more of this. So we are bringing this back to Jamaica. This time we're going to Montego Bay, October 8th, 2023, and we are going to be really bringing a handful of entrepreneurs who are in their expertise, very, very knowledgeable to provide the insights, the knowledge, the inspiration, the tools, the systems, the strategies that an entrepreneur will need in order to be successful on this journey. We're also going to Trinidad and Tobago, October 13th. We are going to Barbados, October 16th, and our last stop is going to be in Antigua, October 21st. And you have the opportunity to join us. This VIP day is just a prelude of what is to come at the Digital Success Conference tour. And so we want to invite you, we want to see you in the room. You are here for a reason. This is not just a coincidence that you are in this room today at our VIP day. And so we want to connect with you. We want you to join us at the conference. Even if you're not able to join us in person at these locations, you are able to join us virtually from anywhere in the world. So I want to encourage you to go get your tickets and meet me at the Digital Success Conference. There is so much more to be shared. There's so much more to learn, but we are going to be giving that to you inside the room. Just imagine a day where you are able to collaborate, you are able to make connections, you are able to network with others, be among like-minded individuals, and also have the opportunity to walk away with the business strategies and the success tips that you are going to need. In fact, this time around, we are making sure that we have an engaging event. And so you will have the opportunity to open your laptops, to start your business right there on location. Our workbooks are ready to go, and we're super excited about the lineup. We're super excited about the what we're going to be doing. We're bringing to you drop shipping, print on demand, network marketing, marketing strategies, and so much more. You cannot afford to miss the conference. All right, so with that said, I want to invite you guys to come out to our Digital Success Conference. Let me know right now in the comments where you're going to be joining us from, and I will see you there.